Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host Tom Downey. Let's dive into some NFC East rumors today, and we'll start things off with the number one team in the division, the Dallas Cowboys, and namely that Cole Beasley out here throwing shade against the Dallas Cowboys on Twitter, of course, because that's what Cole Beasley likes to do these days. Now, we'll get to the tweet here in a second, but my first response is like, well, of course Cole Beasley is defending the Bills versus the Dallas Cowboys. No player or employee ever is going to be publicly saying, yeah, you know what? My other spot was better. I shouldn't have left. Of course Cole's going to defend the Buffalo Bills. Now, he claims that from a player's perspective, the Bills shit on the Cowboys with recovery and training, which I know many of you have been to the Star. That's just not true. At the same time, who cares what Cole Beasley thinks anymore? He's not on the Cowboys. He's gone. He's in Buffalo. Why do we care? Why do people keep tweeting at Cole Beasley? Why is the Blogging the Boys account devoting so much time to throwing shade back at Cole Beasley? Just move on. Put the phone down. Who cares? Cole should also put the phone down. Just let him do his own thing. It's not worth the headspace anymore. He's not on the Cowboys. Let him do his own thing. Let's just all move on from Cole Beasley. He's not on the Cowboys anymore. Randall Cobb's here instead. Let's focus on him. Let's focus on the rest of the Cowboys players and on the draft instead of getting involved in Twitter wars with a player who is no longer a member of the Dallas Cowboys. But those are just my thoughts there. For the rest of the NFC East rumors, I'll kick it over to my main man, Thomas Mott.
Thanks, Tom. Let's jump right into the other NFC East rumors happening around the world of the NFL. We'll start, as always, with the Philadelphia Eagles. And our first one is interesting. Could the Eagles not be done adding running backs possibly this year in the NFL draft? Now remember, the Eagles just traded for Jordan Howard just a couple of weeks ago. And they also have Corey Clement and Josh Adams were the two running backs, the main running backs from last year. We can also throw in the fact that Darren Sproles hasn't made a decision yet. So now we're looking at a crowded NFL running back position. However, ESPN's Adam Schefter said in an interview in Philadelphia that he said the Eagles are not done at running back. He thinks they're going to add more running backs in the draft. Now, this is good news for Eagle fans because we've seen, I guess, glimpses of Corey Clement being good. Obviously, the Super Bowl year, he was great in the Super Bowl in general. Josh Adams, the undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame, was decent last year as well. But really, after losing Jay to an injury last season, they haven't really had a surefire running back to carry the rock and lead the way. Now, the hope is that Jordan Howard will be that, but in a class in 2019 where the running back talent is very, very strong, it makes sense that the Eagles might be looking to add another running back. So let's just go through quickly the top three options that I have for the Eagles at running back, starting with number one, and Josh Jacobs, the running back out of Alabama. Now, he will be possibly a first-round draft pick. With the Eagles picking at 25 overall, this is a very likely landing spot for Josh Jacobs. I think if he's there at 25 and a bunch of the offensive linemen are already gone, the Eagles might pull the trigger on a first-round running back in Josh Jacobs. Now, another name that might not be number two on draft boards, but I think is the second best running back in this class, is Iowa State's David Montgomery. This is going to be a three-down running back in the NFL. I'm a huge fan of his. You probably get him in day two, possibly second or third round, but I'd look for possibly, maybe the Eagles have two picks in the second round. You could get a guy like David Montgomery and be able to save that first-round draft pick and go get a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman as well. A lot of draft boards have Damien Harris, the other running back out of Alabama, as the second best running back in the draft. I put him at 3 here because, again, I do like David Montgomery a little bit more. But again, there's two Memphis running backs. There's the FAU running back. They just met with the Penn State running back. There are so many running backs in this draft that these three are just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what the Eagles could do. They could get one on day one, they get one on day two, and really they could wait until day 3 or even go with an undrafted guy again. But I'd agree with Adam Schefter here. I think they're going to add a running back in the draft. Who will it be? What do you guys think? Should the Eagles draft a running back this year? And if they do, which one would you guys want them to draft? Let me know in the comments section down below. There's more Eagle news to get into here and the possibilities of the Eagles trading up in the NFL draft. Now here's the stage. Eagles currently hold number 25 overall, but they do have 2 picks in the second round. So of course, when you start thinking about potentially wanting to move up, having 2 picks in the second round is pretty enticing for a team if you wanted to trade up into the mid to early teens in this year's draft. The Eagles are in win now mode, so that means they're going to look to get an impact player who can start right away in this year's draft, and it makes sense to move up and possibly go and get that player. Now, the question is, where could the Eagles move up to that makes a lot of sense? Now, we're not going to predict they're going to move into the top 10 because that takes too much draft power, too much ammo to move in the top 10. But here's the list. Let's throw them up of the teams that the Eagles could trade with to move up in the first round. Number 1, the Tennessee Titans sitting there at number 19. They only have 6 picks this year, and so when you look for people to trade out of the first round or move back in the first round, they're normally doing it to acquire more picks. So Tennessee, only 6 picks. 19 is a pretty good jump from 25. If they have a guy that they like and they don't think he's going to fall to 25, trading with Tennessee makes a lot of sense. Moving on quickly, Seattle at 21. Not a huge jump, but still 4 spots ahead of where they were at 25. Seattle only has 4 picks this year in the NFL draft. This makes a ton of sense if you're Philadelphia, and it could be a really easy landing spot. I decided now for our third team, it's Miami. There weren't a lot of other teams that didn't have a lot of draft picks. Miami only has 7, and they sit at pick 13. A lot of speculation is they're going to trade up and go get a quarterback, but we've also heard that they might want to hold out for 2020 and go get, the Jake Fromms of the world, the Tuas of the world, and the Justin Herberts of the world. If that's the case, then trading back and acquiring more picks would work out well for Miami. The Eagles really, really like someone. I'd say they like Ed Oliver out of Houston, who might be an early first-round draft pick. Then trading up to 13 would make a lot of sense. Move along right here to the New York Football Giants portion of the NFC East rumors segment here on chatsports.com. Are the Giants not going to take a quarterback at number 6 overall? Now, here's the scene. I have sources who know people. It's a chain of sources, but they're very well connected inside the New York Giants organization, and they have told me that Gettleman is not really looking to draft a quarterback at number 6. They're more interested in the 2020 quarterback draft class. They have 12 picks in this draft. So what I am hearing is that they don't like Haskins at 6. I think a lot of draft boards have Dwayne Haskins going to the Giants at 6. I've heard that they don't like Haskins at 6. I've heard that they looked at this draft class, and Gettleman doesn't like any of them. He doesn't like Drew Lock. He doesn't like Daniel Jones. He's very low on Kyler Murray, and then now we're being told is not high on Haskins. So what I am being told is that they could be looking to go and get a defensive lineman early on in the draft, possibly at number 6, which we'll talk about here in 1 second. Haskins, again, he's the likely pick if you're going to predict a quarterback to go to the Giants. His stats are up on the board. You can see him right now. We know he had 50 touchdowns in 2018. He's third in the Heisman race, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. But people, they don't like his red zone ability. They might not really be a big fan of his leadership abilities. And I've been told that Dave Gettleman is not that high on Dwayne Haskins. If he's not high on Haskins, he's not going to be high on any of the other quarterbacks. So look for the Giants to stay away from a quarterback at number 6. Possibly sit tight and take the best player available. Which leads us right into our next little topic here, is who would they take at 6 if not a quarterback? Now we know, like we just said, the Giants, they might not take a quarterback at number 6, and Gettleman has said, quote, he wants the best player available. The Giants do have 12 picks in this year's draft, so I put down a list of realistic options for the Giants to go ahead and get at number 6 overall. This is assuming no Bosa, no Quinnen Williams, and really we could throw in there that there's no Josh Allen from Kentucky. Those will all be gone before 6. So here's the list. Number 1, I think most likely, Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle out of Houston. His draft stock has been rising like crazy since his pro day. I keep hearing he's going to go in the top 10. 6 to the Giants makes a lot of sense. Number 2, Montez Sweat, the pass rusher. He's out of Mississippi State. His draft stock is rising as well because the speed he put on at the combine. People like him a lot. They think he's going to go into the late top 10. So sitting there 8, 9, or 10. I've been hearing that the Carolina Panthers are interested in trading up for him. But if he's there at 6, and let's say someone took Ed Oliver, Bosa, and Williams are all gone, that could be an option for the Giants as well to add another pass rusher to that defensive line. And finally, if all those people are gone, you gotta look at Devin White, the linebacker out of LSU. People say he could be the best player in this draft. He's really, really, really good at the inside linebacker position. The Giants really haven't had a really good inside linebacker in a long time. And if, like you said, no defensive linemen that they like are really left. Christian Wilkins could be there, but it's just too early. Devin White might make a lot of sense at number 6 overall. So the question's up to you guys. who do you want the Giants to take at number 6 overall? If you could have anybody, quarterback, defensive lineman, be realistic because Bosa and Williams won't be there, but I'm curious what you guys think on who the Giants should take. Remember, I read all the comments, so any comment you put below, I will see it eventually. So go ahead and get to commenting as this video continues. Finally, one rumor surrounding the Redskins today, and it's because it's really the only rumor that I keep hearing, is that the Redskins might be the favorites to go and land the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, Josh Rosen. Now, I keep saying it, and I'll say it again and again and again. The Cards are going Murray at 1. Okay, that's a done deal. They're going to take Kyler Murray. And so what I'm being told and what people are saying online is that the Cardinals are trying to hold out to get a first-round draft pick for Josh Rosen. I don't think they're going to get a first-round draft pick between you and me. I think it's going to be a second-round draft pick, but they're holding out to possibly get a first-round draft pick. And I was being told and reading that the Redskins were openly trying to trade Josh Rosen at the NFL Combine just a couple of weeks or months ago, essentially. So here's the deal. I think this will be either a week of the draft, night of the draft, or during the draft, trade that happens. They're going to hold out for the best available picks and compensation that they can do. I don't see the Redskins giving up their first-round draft pick. They said it, early teens. But a second-round draft pick makes a lot of sense. If you could get Josh Rosen for a second-round draft pick, what are you doing? I know you got Case Keenum, and I know you got Alex Smith eventually back from injury, and Colt McCoy. Rosen was a first-round draft pick last year. You could potentially get a good player, a good defensive player, or a good offensive skill player at 13 overall, maybe a wide receiver, a weapon for him. I don't know. But it makes a lot of sense for the Redskins to go ahead and make the trade for Josh Rosen, and they right now are the favorite to go ahead and land Josh Rosen. But like I said, it might not happen until the night before or the night of the NFL draft. What do you guys think? If you're a Redskins fan, are you down for this trade for Josh Rosen? I think you really should. I don't see why you wouldn't go and trade for Josh Rosen. I'm all for it, but it's up to you guys. So always let me know in the comments section down below. I'm always curious to hear your guys' thoughts. That's it for this week's NFC East Rumors. I'm Thomas Mott. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll have plenty more to come in the future. So go ahead and subscribe to Chat Sports as always. And hey, enjoy the rest of your NFL day.
Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.